Hello. Your farmer Fred, and I want us to learn few skills or few things you need to know when setting up a watermelon farm or when you want to start watermelon farming, because these are very important steps. These are very critical steps that if you fail to observe them in the beginning, when looking for a land, when preparing the land, you'll end up messing your watermelon farm. So I'll share with you some few tips so that you can be able to be a good watermelon farmer. How do you make your trenches? How do you plow your land? After plowing your land, you need to know the techniques of making trenches, and this is very key because of few factors in watermelon farming. Remember, in our previous videos I've told you about water and how the amount of water you're supposed to use, which is supposed to be as much water as possible. And when we are doing irrigation, there are few things we observe, like trench making. In this video, as you can see, we are making trenches for watermelon for a new season, and many factors are considered, from the soil that we have, to the terrain of the land, up to the environmental condition, also the availability of water. One, when making a trench, have as deep trench as possible. This is for you to be able to have as much water in one trench that you're making. And remember, different soils hold different water holding capacities. Like in this one, this is a red roomy soil, and its trench is supposed to be deep because it has a good water holding capacity. It doesn't hold a lot of water, and it doesn't hold less water. So having a good trench here is good. I usually do at least 30 centimeters to 50 centimeters depth. That is what I do. Then from the trench, you also observe the spacing. Remember, the spacing has always been my biggest song, as you can see, where the tractor is cutting the trench. I've already measured. My trenches are always 2 meters or 3 meters, depending by also the type of a tractor that I'm using. Like for this one that I'm using here, I'm doing a 3 meters trench, and deep trenches like this one. So this is what we're supposed to consider. So the spacing is 3 meters, and when it comes now to planting, you remember what I told you about when you have a wide trenches, you are going to reduce your spacing of the watermelon. When you have your trenches are not wide, maybe it's 2 meters, you are going to increase the spacing of your watermelon. So as you can see, my trenches now are enough. It may not be as visible as I'm seeing on the ground, but they are enough. From this point now, that when I come cutting the basins, which is a class of another day, I'm going to show you how to cut the basins, but I wanted to emphasize on the trenches. Before we came to trenches, remember I did the ploughing. The ploughing is seen in this video. I used first I used the chisel plow, then I came with the disc plow. And those who maybe have an added advantage, you can also use you can also use arrow to make sure your soil is fine, as you are seeing, because some soils are very hard, so you need to break them into small particles to make sure where you are making your trenches is in a fine place. This is an example of how you're supposed to prepare your land, how you're supposed to make your trenches, and the spacing that you need when you're preparing the sample. Because if you make a mistake at this point, you'll have a big mistake in growing your watermelon. Remember, we want it to make a good place, a good bed where the watermelon will lie, and a good holding water basin where the watermelon will be feeding. I hope you've learned something from our today's class, and you're going to practice it. Don't just keep whatever you're learning. If you like this video, if it was good to you, share it with other farmers so that we can all continue learning together. Bye.